Because when you have that real dark night of the soul, you have to realize that it's a normal part of the process. And opening those suitcases of stuff that you've suppressed your entire life, it's worth it. But you have to realize that there's other people who have done it, and there is support. You don't have to do it alone. Welcome back to The Reset. I am Sean Tucker, human performance scientist and authority architect. We are here in the living lab, documenting the struggle, the science, and the shift for every high-performance dad and founder who is ready to bridge the gap between their ambition and their presence. Today, we're diving into why it is so important to stop and realize where you're going and what you're doing so that you don't lose yourself. So listen in, grab a pen, and take some notes, because today's going to be filled with value. Where do I even start with this one? Wow. I was quite fortunate that the place that I was heading was stopped because COVID lockdowns came and completely shut my business down. Because I think as men, we find so much purpose in what we do. And don't get me wrong, I felt like in many ways I had purpose because I loved helping people. As a personal trainer in a commercial gym, I loved helping people get the results that they were getting, right? If I reflect back in those moments where I was helping my clients get the results, the funny thing is I wasn't really getting them the expected result that I wanted for them, but I was getting the result that was landing for them. They kept working with me. It wasn't always the most physical and tangible result, but I think in many cases, it was the fact that they understood themselves better, and I challenged the belief that they had about themselves so they could move forward with confidence and direction in where they were headed with their life. Did they also get benefits towards looking better? Of course they did. But the funny thing is, looking at those clients that I've worked with in the past, I was pretty damn hard on myself looking at the nuances of what actual transformation did they make. Because being a personal trainer, working in the physical space, you have before and after images, right? As a direct comparison, you can see what kind of changes have happened. And some transformations were fantastic, right? But then there was part of me that was still like, it's not enough. It's not enough. And the fact of the matter is, it will never be enough. Because it's coming from a deep place of scarcity that it will never be enough. You're never good enough. And of course, I went down the rabbit hole of hiring a personal trainer mentor who was quite authoritative. Like, I thought I wanted that. And I went down this pathway of chasing what I thought was going to give me the internal fulfillment and external success. But what I came to realize was it was a vision of myself that I was painting that was coming from a deep place of scarcity, a deep place of insecurity, and really I was just burying myself in all of it. And so fortunately, the lockdowns came and I stopped. I started becoming really inquisitive. And I did an internal inquiry about what it is I was doing, what I was chasing, and trying to find that place in myself where I had my own purpose. I could find peace in myself. And it's an always striving, it's an ever striving way of living, a way of being. Because it's not about what you do, it's about how you are. It's in your way of being that's most important. And I think if you're listening to this podcast You're starting to realize that those external successes are not really bringing you the internal fulfillment that you're seeking and desiring. The next thing that you get as a reward for you made a new sale, or you got a raise in your job, or maybe an extra kid will bring happiness. The truth is, it won't. It might bring some temporary relief of happiness, but if you're not peaceful and fulfilled in yourself, those external successes and those external metrics of happiness and really winning, I guess, in another way, it's not true. It's just your mind's way of saying, yay, we did it. But are you really being controlled by your mind? Would you rather have control over your mind or be liberated from your mind? Because the mind is a weapon. And honestly, we don't know which direction the weapon is pointing. It could be pointed at us, and because it's so sharp, we end up pulling the trigger. Bang. Dead. There goes us. And if you're listening to this podcast now, it's really, I hope that you wake up sooner. It's my hope and my dream that you realize sooner than I did, and sooner than a lot of other men do, before it's too late. Because there is a way of being, a way of living that is fulfilling, even within what you're doing now. It comes from a place within yourself. It doesn't come from those external metrics or how you look or what you put into your body. It actually comes from the place in yourself. And a lot of the time, I know, because I've been on this journey a long time, last 15 years, I've been working on myself from a physical standpoint, and then doing more of the inner work and really seeing what the journey is. It starts out like you change how you eat. Of course, that's going to change how you look. You change how you lift and train your body. It's going to change how you look. But if there's a place in you that's still not at peace or still not fulfilled, it's going to come out somewhere. It has to. Because that's your soul, that's your truth being expressed. And I'd rather have that happen sooner rather than later. Because when you have that real dark night of the soul, you have to realize that it's a normal part of the process. And opening those suitcases of stuff that you suppressed your entire life, it's worth it. But you have to realize that there's other people who have done it, and there is support. You don't have to do it alone. So that is it for today's episode of The Reset. If you're ready to stop being a passenger in your own life and start being the architect of your legacy, make sure you comment or DM the word reset and grab the 7-day reset guide from me. Remember, most people wait for their life to change. We architect the choice. Change your state, choose your life. I'll see you in the next one. My name is Sean Tucker.